Командир, оружие подвешено.
Pedal problems again. Correct it once we hit the end of the taxiway. Well, try to correct it, it probably won't fix it. Now it's a little better. Hasn't fixed it properly, but it's a little better. We have a very target-rich environment at the moment. Very target-rich. Okay, flap set, trim set, egg necks. clean? I highly doubt it. Not sure how long I'm going to be streaming for. I'm already really tired. It's just that it's too hot to sleep. Like, I can't actually get to sleep, but I am really drowsy. But Cold War's got people in it, so we're going to play on here for a while. And either go through till I hit my second wind, and then sleep tomorrow through the day, or, I don't know, work something out. I really need a less scuffed setup than this. Like, everything's kind of crooked and off kilter. I'm sitting at an angle to the screen. My HOTAS setup's at an angle. Everything is all ass backwards. Well, the teams are starting to even out now, which is interesting. 3 for 100 hog. There might be some stuff over the towns as well. It's on 2 towns, so we know where they're going to be going at least. Up with my SRS, I think it's not transmitting properly. Or it's not playing mic clips. It should be. I'll have to test it out with somebody at some point and figure out why it's not working. Because people on this server do tend to use it, especially if there's GCI. Honestly, it's probably the only server I'd actually use it on. I don't think anyone on GS uses it. Half the time GS SRS isn't even up. Hey, Fora, thanks for the follow. It's just like, it should be playing the mic clip when I hit transmit, and it's not. I don't know if I'm transmitting, and I'm not hearing anything back either. I don't know if that's just because no one's on SRS right now, or if I've got it configured wrong. It used to work, but that was like 6 months ago, a year ago, when I actually last used it, I think, so. It's been a long time. Clean fall again. Don't think so, buddy. This road 760,000 cold. He's RTB probably. I want another encounter with those genius F5s who think that they're safe flying 15,000 feet AGL. I want to fly against them again, that was fun. It's nice to actually get to use the radar in this plane from time to time. Smoke from one of the towns. Well, that's the thing, like, at 15,000 feet, I can see them plain as day on the radar. Even if they're not contrailing, I can use the radar to pick them up. If they're below that, I can't see them because of the ground clutter. So, the typical sort of metagame in this server is to fly as low to the ground as possible, so people can't pick you up on radar. And then everyone just relies on spotting specks above the horizon as well as bra calls from the AWACS. But like, I love low flying and all that, but it's just frustrating having to pick people up visually with my eyes. So, any excuse to actually use the radar is a good excuse for me. So, right, 5:45, he's cold. We're going to flick the radar on, even though there's probably nothing here at the moment. And we're probably not going to see them anyway. So that near town is, I believe, the one that we hold. We've got a FARP somewhere around here, down one of these valleys. Theirs is further down the other way. Bypass a bit to the north. There is actually another enemy FARP somewhere around here, I think. The other thing is the FARP pads are really difficult to see in the snow. I know there's some around here, I just don't know exactly when. They're a bit risky to overfly because of the threat of stingers and pivads. Pivads isn't actually that dangerous most of the time, it's the stingers that scare me. I swear I just heard a thud. Line somewhere. Oh, I see a smoke trail? No. Right there. Get fucked. Oh, bless the R60M. No, it wasn't my poster falling down. I swear I heard a bang, but the aircraft seems fine. Might have been a Stinger fusing in the air behind me or something. Or a stray round off of pivads. Like I said, the pivads isn't really that dangerous. It's more of an annoyance than anything. Put that back off for now. I've got to say the snow makes it much easier to spot people. Much easier. Those smoke trails show up really clearly. Mindful of the fuel situation. Don't want to get too far back towards Tbilisi. I know they have a FARP down south, so I don't want to get too close to that. Fucking hell! That was a Viggen. He came out of fucking nowhere. Jesus. He must have been absolutely in the weeds to not get a call out for him. How's that for a jump scare? Fucking hell. I guess that's instant karma for me. Well, not instant, but like slightly delayed, marginally delayed karma for deleting that other guy in the fucking merge. I don't know if he ever knew I was there either. Would have just seen a smoke trail coming at him and then death. Well, that woke me up.
Оружие подвешено.
It was a hell of a shot too, to kill a MiG-21 in one hit and pilot kill me. That missile must have been fucking well aimed. And my music bot's freaking out for some reason. Song started again. Still doing it. It's weird. It's like it's buffering, but it shouldn't be. Okay, trim. Imagine needing to wait for an INS alignment. Oh, mission rotation in 1 minute. Open range, I think, is the one between Mozdok and Minvodi. So that should be interesting. Very flat terrain. Server's emptying out a bit. We're probably not going to get off the ground before it switches mission. Why is my music fucking freezing up on me? Sorry about the audio issues, guys. There goes the server. So we'll see how the server goes. If it does start emptying back out, I might end up on GS for a bit or just dogfight. I will play DCS for a while. I'll probably do some Stalker as well. But if it's either stays at its current population or fills up, we will be on here for quite a while.
Перезарядка по плану. Прием.
Bear with me for a second.
There we go. I don't know why the fuck my mic wasn't picking up. That's really weird. Well, shit, I hope it hasn't been like that the whole fucking stream so far. But yeah, it is, like, unbearably hot here. The front sort of entrance corridor to my flat, the walls are, like, painfully hot to touch. At the moment, it's just past midnight, and it's still, like, obscenely hot in here, which is why I'm not sleeping. I can't sleep. Tired, but I can't sleep. Oh my god, why would you ask for a picture? So I'm going to operate on the assumption my mic has not been working at all for the entire stream. The plan is to play on here until either the server empties out or I get bored. At which point I'll probably do some Stalker. I would gladly trade. Any temperature above 20 degrees Celsius can fuck off. I wouldn't count on it changing soon, to be honest. I mean, it's basically the middle of summer, so probably going to get worse before it gets better, to be honest. Lazy man's autopilot. Shouldn't have to tell people this, but whatever. For 140, he's just taken off from an upper. So we're 1 for 1 at the moment. Last mission I nailed someone in a merge. I don't know if he even realized I was there. And then got some pretty quick karmic justice when a Viggen appeared from nowhere, supersonic, and just immediately deleted me. Which I was not expecting. So I must have been lurking in a river valley or something. For that guy to already be within 40 kilometers of the enemy, he must have gone full fucking burner. Like emergency burner to get over there. Because he didn't get off the ground much sooner than I did. basically the heading we're on. Hopped on Growling Sidewinder yesterday and scored my first kill. Nice! I had an interesting time on there earlier today. I think I had more problems with my own team trying to shoot me down than with the enemy. I had a wonderful situation where an F-14 about 5 miles behind me decided to start dumping Phoenixes in ACM mode, so they homed on the first thing they saw, which happened to be me. Only narrowly avoided getting hit. But in the process of narrowly avoiding getting hit, I got nailed by the AMRAAM I could have otherwise notched. So I was not impressed. What were you flying in? And what was the kill on, I suppose? It was in the Tomcat? I mean, as long as it wasn't a teammate. That's a call for their AWACS, so whoever it was off my nose has either been shot down or has dropped into the weeds. Dropped into the weeds being quite likely. There we go. There's a call out. Proper call out. 266 for 110. So he's still in basically the same direction. He's coming out of Anapa and heading straight towards Minvodi by the looks of it. Quite a long ways out. I suspect my cop belongs to them. I think it does. I'm pretty sure it was this mission where I took Samfire from my cop as I flew near it trying to engage a B-52, so we'll have to try and give it a relatively wide berth. I think we're going to pass north of my cop anyway. 62 for 90 now. Double check there's nothing closer. It's a flight level 39, he was in an 18 at 40. Missile warning at 39 miles, so I fired a 54. If he had a missile out on you at 39 miles, either he was trying to do some 4D chess shit and scare you into going defensive, or he's dumb as fuck. I don't know why anyone would fire a fucking AMRAAM at 39 miles, even at that altitude. It's a waste of a missile, especially the way it performs in DCS. In real life, maybe, but in DCS, it's a waste of a missile. Lovely flat terrain. $750. Might be going for a fart. turn on the radar within about 35 to 40 kilometers. I love flying this thing down on the deck. It's a lot of fun. It's such a tiny plane with such small wings, you can kind of squeeze between trees and things and between buildings. Belly tank's nearly empty. One 4 for 2-4. He's going for the FARP over here. 174 for 16. Still flanking. He may not realise I'm here. Go for an intercept course. So 1,000 meters. So he's going to be slightly above me. Seven now for 14. Yeah, he's flying away from me. I don't think he knows. There he is. Contact on the radar. Well, maybe he does know. Out there somewhere. Can I pick him up, please? I'm on radar. It's right off my nose. I can't see him. Oh, it's 14. You bastard thing, pick him up. Smoke trail. Just make sure he's probably already dead, but definitely dead now. It's a Viggen. Zero for 80 at 500. I got plenty of fuel, relatively speaking. So he was fading in and out of the ground clutter. That's why I couldn't pick him up properly on the radar. I could see him, but I couldn't lock him. It's a bit frustrating, but came good in the end. I didn't get credit for the kill. I did hit him, but I didn't get credit, so I'm guessing the air defense got it. Shame. Okay, we've lost that contact. It's probably hidden behind terrain. To 7150. This guy's pretty much on the deck. 500 meters is about the height of these hills. It's the meme song. 5-4 for 29. It's closing pretty quick. My monitor needs another clean, badly. 244 for 13. Should be directly off my nose. Yes, he is. I see him behind that ridge line. I don't think he knows. Do I have lost sight of him? 070 for 5. Oh shit, he's behind me. He did know. Missiles over that. 310 for 8. Deal with that guy later. What are you? Okay, there's 2 there. Cannot tell what that is in front of me. Here we go. That's a 21. So we'll break off him and come around for the other. Right there, Viggen. Pulled a little hard and stalled her there. Okay, the other 21's got himself involved. Got to be careful, make sure he doesn't hit me. Not an ideal situation to be in, a slow fight against a Viggen. But we might be able to make it work. Watch I don't stall myself out. Viggen's struggling. Looks like I'm slowly reeling him in. There goes the other 21 under my nose. Thing is, I'm not sure the R60s will track at this extreme of an angle. Oh. Oh, 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 oh. A little bit dicey there. Oh, this is really not good. What the other 21's doing, but he'd be real useful right about now. See, I can come around on the Viggen easily. The problem is that at this range and this angle, there's not much hope of a missile shot, and the guns are difficult to get the hits with. Here we go. This is where we get him. I'm getting dangerously low on fuel, so after this engagement, I'm RTB. There's the other 21, I hope. Looks like the Viggen's broken off me and gone for him. Yep. There's the missile. I'll make sure, although I think I saw a wing come off of him. It's definitely dead. Time to go home.
Отказ систем. Смотри экран.
Hey, Commander Keith. Thanks for the follow, dude. I should have probably not put all my faith on that guns pass, because that was really not a good lineup from me, and then when I missed it and hesitated and stalled, I kind of screwed myself. Like, I recovered from it, but that was a really dangerous situation. If he'd had a friend with him, I would have died. And you can see the Viggen handles surprisingly well at low speed, although he was really struggling. You can kind of tell he was having difficulties. Pick up a little bit of altitude, partly for fuel efficiency, but mostly so I can grab the RSBN beacon for Minvodi and just navigate back off that. I'll actually switch over to the Arc for now. If it'll come up. Which it doesn't want to. I'll leave the RSBN selected as primary. Yeah, they do help. But like me, he bleeds a shitload of speed when he turns. And I have the better thrust to weight ratio. Like, the Viggen is fast, but the Viggen isn't, at least the AJS isn't powerful. It's just quick. Whereas I am quick and powerful. So I can kind of use my thrust to not fully compensate for the drag coming off the delta, but I can kind of use it to give myself a little more staying power while he's struggling. I think I can actually see Minvodi from here, so I don't really need to worry about the RSBN so much. Dump fuel bags. The first thing I do when I get a close call out or see an enemy is drop the bags. They are gone immediately. RSBN, yeah, it's basically Soviet TACAN. That is definitely Minvodi off in front of my nose. So once we get close enough and we get line of sight to the beacon, the K flag should pop up here on the ADI, and then the this needle should snap around to align with the beacon. Also, the distance counter will become active. I actually got a decent amount of fuel left. I could have probably survived another few minutes of fighting, but I'd be sort of cutting it close. Just over 1,000 liters of fuel at the moment, which is a good amount to have. I've somehow set the wrong beacon. I wonder I couldn't pick it up. There we go. I don't know how I did that. I might have bumped the button. There we go. Straight off the nose. 69 kilometers. 68 now. I'm going to track out today, but I don't think I like it. The view never stays in the middle. It just makes me feel sick. You probably need to adjust the curves on it a bit, honestly. Like, I've kind of found a happy place with my track IR, and I've just not touched anything. I don't want to mess it up. I just find that because of the way I naturally look towards things, it does tend to move slightly. Like when you see me starting up, it does move a little on me, but it's not too bad. And then every now and then I'll just recenter it to make sure it's where it should be. Like so. Yeah, it takes some adjusting too. I adjusted to the track IR pretty quick, and now I can't fly without it. I also suspect, I haven't really used VR for any length of time, and when I did use it, it wasn't in a game like DCS, but I have a deep suspicion that VR would make me motion sick, so I'm glad that I've adjusted to this, otherwise I'd kind of be in a spot above with that. Wow, we've actually got plenty of fuel. There's no need to be concerned. Looks like the server's starting to fill up, which is good news. Some F5s appearing. Red smoke there is the airport. And that contrail is our AWACS. Yeah, very user specific. I based mine off someone else's profile and then made a shitload of changes because I didn't like the way that theirs was set up for certain things. Oh no! I forgot to return the gear handle to neutral. We have no wheel brakes. It's going to be very awkward. It's like the first time I've done that in at least a year. Yeah, so because this has 3 positions, the middle position is neutral. When you put the undercarriage lever in the up position, it automatically applies the wheel brakes so that they don't spin inside the gear base. And the problem with that is they're pneumatic brakes and they bleed off pressure as they're applied. So if you don't return the gear lever to neutral after raising the gear, the brakes are on constantly and it just bleeds out the entire pneumatic system. So we may not even have flaps, now I think about it. This could be a very interesting landing indeed. I don't know how I forgot to do that. I don't usually. No, the brakes are not hydraulic. The brakes are almost never hydraulic in any Soviet aircraft, Cold War Soviet aircraft. They're very similar to the World War II fighters in terms of systems. No, you can't build pressure. Once it's gone, it's gone. It's an air bottle in the plane. Once it is gone, you are not getting it back. Yeah, it might have been that. Overshot turn, as usual. That's alright, we can kind of snake in here. Well, we will find out when I land whether we have brakes or not, but I don't expect I will because of how long that lever's been up. Bubbery smooth landing, as usual. No, nothing. Normally you'd hear a hiss when I apply the brake lever, there's absolutely nothing. And this instrument here is the brake pressure, there's nothing in the system, it's empty. Also this gauge, empty. So we're going to have to just roll out with the parachute. Oh, which didn't pop. The parachute's powered by compressed air as well, the more you know. Thankfully it's a nice long runway. Very nice long runway. Now, because I have no brakes, it also means I can't steer properly. While I've got airflow over the rudder, I can kind of pull over a bit, but I can't properly turn. So we're just going to kind of taxi a little ways off the runway, so that we don't get cleaned up by people taking off. It's the first time I've ever had that happen on stream, I think. So yeah, there you go. That's why you always return the gear lever to neutral in the MiG-21. If that was a shorter runway, I would have overrun and gone straight into the fence. It wouldn't have been pretty. Now the other thing is, I might need to repair the aircraft to get a fresh bottle of air for the brakes. So we'll find that out soon, I guess. So, the relevant gauges. This is your air pressure gauge. You can see one needle's on the 0. There is, I think, an emergency system, but I don't know how to switch over from it, because there's 2 needles. There has to be a switch somewhere, I'm just not sure where it is. Typically that kind of thing would be over this side of the cockpit. But I can't see it. The other gauge which is relevant in this situation is this one down here, which is the brake pressure. So normally when you pull the brake lever, which I'm doing here, normally when you do that, you'll see these needles move. One is the left main wheel, the other's the right main wheel. So if you're applying the brakes without any rudder input, you'll see them both, one will go right to the bottom, the other will go left to the top. So they just switch around basically. If you're steering, so you've got some rudder input and you pull the brakes, you'll see the inside of the turn the pressure will go up and the outside of the turn the pressure will stay low. Yeah, I just don't know where the switch is to activate that. It's not on this panel. Oh, I bet you it's tucked away down here somewhere behind the stick. Maybe. We've got air pressure again. This is back to full, so it doesn't really matter. So you can see the brake pressure on that bottom gauge changing as I turn. The other thing to avoid is overusing the brakes. For the same reason, it vents out air every time the brakes are applied. So if you ride the brakes, or if you try and overcorrect every little turn by using the brakes to do it, you'll do the same thing, you'll drain the system. That one, that's the missile seeker head. There's a heat source in front of it. It went out because I switched to the radar seeker mode, just so it wouldn't annoy me while I'm taxiing. So it's probably picking up one of the aircraft starting up over to my right, or it's picking up a truck or something down the end of the taxiway. They're quite sensitive on the R60. Yeah, I must see a truck or something down there. Oh, or the helicopter that's hovering. That's probably what it's seeing. See, I just switched it back to the IR seeker and it's not giving tone anymore. So it was probably picking up that MI8 there. Be nice if there was an actual instrument that told you how much radar coolant you have left. Like, I know what the time limitations are, but it would be nice if there was an instrument that indicated the level. This thing is just such a nice module to fly. I really enjoy flying the MiG-21 in the DCS. Let's head generally west, because they seem to be going for that FEB again. Oh, there we go. Lots of blues. Very target-rich environment now. That's what I like to see. Can't wait for the midlife update on this module. It's going to be awesome. It's going to break basically all my skin, so I'm going to have to redo a lot of hard work, but it's going to be a huge quality of life improvement. It's honestly, like, as much as I love my Mirage, I would say this is my favorite module. Like, the Mirage is amazing and it's a great gunfighter. The Tomcat is just incredible, but the MiG-21 is the one module I just cannot stop coming back to. No matter what else I'm trying to learn, it always comes back to the MiG-21. And I'm hoping when the MiG-23 comes out, it has that same kind of magic to it. I'll certainly fly it a lot just because I love the MiG-23, but there's just something about this plane, I don't know. Yeah, it really is just such a pleasant little bird. Like, it doesn't have any particularly nasty handling vices. It's, you know, in combat, it's real edgy as shit because you're playing with, like, you know, 1 or 2 degrees of of angle of attack between being able to turn on someone and kill them and stalling into the ground. Like, it's a lot of fun. It's responsive, it's fast. It's, as far as I'm concerned, easy to land, even though everyone else says it's not. Like, it's just a real pleasant aircraft to fly. And it's so cozy as well. Just the cockpit is so nice. The soothing blue paint, the soft red glow of the instruments at night. Oh, perfect. .284 for 70. Interesting. Interesting. 223 for 60. He's probably going for the FARP if he's south of me. 282 for 50. That'll be a fighter probably. Directly off my nose, flanking though, so he might be turning for the FARP. Our radar's maximum acquisition range is 30 kilometers. Its maximum lock range is 20. So usually between 35 and 40 kilometers is where I tend to turn it on. Otherwise you're just wasting coolant and broadcasting your position for no reason. A lot of people, when they fly this thing, especially on this server, don't even use the radar at all. I find it does have its moments. Certainly against clueless F5s and clueless Harriers that fly quite high up, it's very useful. So I do use the radar, but I don't usually get much help out of it. Speaking of which, 316 for 17, remind me to knock 200 off the fuel. It's probably past me by now. 265 for 25, interesting. So he's probably dropped into the weeds. And AWACS has seen the next closest. Looking for a speck or a smoke trail. For 30. No, this guy's got to be close. He should be heading more or less east. No specks or smoke trails behind us. Fuel. Should do us. 252 for 35. We might have to give up on this guy, although I don't like turning my back on somebody when I don't know where they are specifically. Hold on, is that a chimney or is that smoke? That's a chimney. So much dust on my screen. God damn it.
21-й, 5-й. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
Clean, huh? I don't think so, buddy.
21-й, 3-й. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель. 21-й, 5-й. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
Come on, Alex, talk to me, buddy.
21-й, 5-й. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
042 for 4. Not sure if he realizes where I am.
Цель.
093 for 11 now. Viggen. Got him. That's a kill, alright. He's missing a wing. He's still trying, bless him. Back down to the deck we go. What the fuck right off? He had one wing. He had one motherfucking wing. There is no fucking way that happened. Are you fucking shitting me? That was fucking stupid as hell. Jesus. Here I was thinking the MiG-21's damage model was broken. The fucking Viggen. At least when I lose a wing, I can't fire my missiles because the electrical system goes out. What the fuck was that? I didn't even get credit for a kill. What the fuck is that shit? That is dumb as hell. He should have been dead. He got hit by two R60s, was missing a wing, was on fire. His engine was probably out because he was trailing oil. Thanks, ED/Heat Blur, whoever's responsible for that particular fuck up.
Перезарядка по плану.
That is so fucking stupid.
Командир, оружие подвешено.
The really dumb thing is that the way DCS does hit detection, it's on the side of the person who fires the weapon, which is why, like if you watch some of my old fights with Tawny, you'll see my screen, I stitch a line of bullets straight across him. On his screen, they're nowhere near him, and yet he dies. So it should be on the firer's side. So because I saw him without a wing, that should mean he is without a wing. Like, desync, no, shouldn't matter. Like, all that matters to DCS is what the person who fired the weapon sees. So in that case, he should have no wing, he should be dead. So, I don't know what the fuck was going on there, but that should never have happened. Never. Well, just another wonderful piece of high-quality ED coding, I guess. Like, it could be the Viggen's damage model, but I kind of suspect it's DCS in general. Because this always happens. The Cold War planes in particular get broken every patch. Sadly, there's no way I can spectate him, because I want to see if he somehow limps back to base with one wing and lands. Because if he does, holy fuck. That plane needs fixing, if that's the case. Wonder if when the new ED damage models finally reach modern era aircraft, devs will retroactively fit that. Probably not. Probably not. I doubt it. Imagine thinking there's any kind of standardization in DCS. What I mean. Aside from that, I mean, I haven't been reading up as much as I perhaps should on the new damage models, but I don't have a whole lot of faith in them. Like, just given ED's track record and the way that they treat the combat side of the game, I really don't have a lot of faith. Cliffs of Dover damage models are fucking amazing. Like, Cliffs of Dover has the best damage models I've ever seen in any game for anything. But, yeah, I don't know how I feel about ED trying to put out new damage models. Like, the way that DCS handles damage in general is so outdated, they need to, like, totally overhaul not just the damage models, but the visual models of the aircraft to, you know, show pieces falling off or whatever, which they're not going to do. They're not going to fucking do it. Oh, I don't even know if it'll work well in single player, if I'm honest. I really... Like, it would take such a massive rewrite of the game's code to make it really worthwhile. I don't think it's going to be. Especially considering that ostensibly the reason it's being done is for the World War II modules, when it's very clear to see the World War II modules are kind of an also-ran for ED. Like, they put some good effort into them. Like, the Spitfire's really nice, the Mustang's amazing, all that, but at the same time, World War II has never been and never will be the focus of DCS, and it's never going to outcompete IL-2, especially Cliffs of Dover. So, I don't really want to put too much faith in it until they can show that it works. Like, I hope it works. I really do. It's like most things that ED do. I really hope it works. And I'll be really happy if it does, but I just don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, basically. Especially given previous, you know, previous big promises about things that be introduced to the game, and either they still aren't in the game or they're broken as fuck. Who the fuck is that? That is so fucked up. So he just killed one of my teammates as well. A Viggen with one wing and no engine. I don't know if that's some fuckery on his end or if it's just a bug. And that's the problem with DCS, you can't tell. You can't tell, because this game is perpetually so broken, and like the quality control varies so drastically from one module to the next, even within the same developer. Like, you know, the Viggen is ostensibly heat blur territory, and heat blur leave that thing neglected for months at a time. They do update it eventually, but the Viggen is almost perpetually broken in some way or another. And then this thing really only sees very minor bug fixes, pretty much. Which is fair, they are in the middle of a midlife update for it, so it's getting a lot of work done behind the scenes, which we will eventually see, but it's a little frustrating at times. The damage model on the MiG-21 at the moment is really hot and cold. 1 week it works perfectly, the next week it doesn't have one, and you can fly without wings, like they're still there. So there's a lot of damage model problems in the game, and the Cold War birds seem to be affected the most. Which is a shame, because they're my favorite things to fly. I think that Viggen just disconnected. Oh, maybe not. I don't know if it's Snail or if it was the guy that just quit, but either way, if we have another run-in with him, we're putting another 2 missiles into him. I'm not going to risk it. We'll head west for now. 7-3 for 60. That was a good call. I bet that's him. I would not be surprised. See, he had 1 wing. He was trailing black smoke, which means engine damage of some description. He was trailing white smoke, which means a fuel leak. Fuel or hydraulics leak in DCS. They're both white smoke. And he lost all his missiles off the 1 wing that I shot as well. So, actually, with that said, the Viggen has been bugged for at least a year. It's been bugged since I started playing DCS, in that when you blow off a wing, you can still see the missile pylons with the missiles there, just magically floating in the air. And I wonder if you can still fire them in that condition. Because that's something Heat Blur have never fixed, ever. Seven 9 for 45. See you later, fuel tank. It's going to be just over that hill, probably 277 for 40. Bet you that's him. Another MiG. $280 for 35. He'll be right off my nose. Cold now. $279 for 27. Find this ridge. Pick up pace a little. 275 for 22. Hot. Ooh, he's turned back for us, huh? There we go. There's the smoke trails. It's a dogfight. figure out who's who. Too low for the radar, so we can't IFF with that. No smoke, so it's not our previous victim. Slash killer. Still no joy on the radar. We're gonna pick a contact and stay with him. Top looks like a Viggen to me. Yeah, that's a Viggen. That is definitely a Viggen. That has to kill him, surely. We'll keep an eye on him. Yeah. He's dead, we got credit. Managed to bail that MiG out, he was about to get murdered. Coming out of an upper. Leopard, I literally got shot down by a Viggen with no wing on the flight before. I put 2 R60s into him, he had no wing, he was on fire. He maneuvered in a climb behind me, pulled a really sharp turn on my tail, and shot me down with a missile. Like, something is hinky with the Viggen's damage model right now, so I am keeping an eye on every single one of them. I'm not making the same mistake twice. .292 for 30. For 16. Still don't see him yet. 320 for 9. I think I may have oversteered slightly. There he is. It's a dogfight. That looks suspiciously triangular. Actually, no, that's a is it a 21 or an F5? Shit, I can't tell. Too low to IFF him with the radar. That's a twin trail, that's an F5. Oh! Yikes! I'm surprised that missile didn't damage me as well. He was right on top of me. Use our better instantaneous turn to crank the nose on for a second missile. That should get him. Oh, went for a flare. Oh shit! He had a friend! Viggen, it looks like. Well, we damaged him. I don't know if he's going to go down, though. It's the only bad thing about the R60 is that it's really anemic. It doesn't have the punch to knock someone down in one. Oh, he's not trailing anymore. He's out of fuel. That was probably a massive fuel leak, so we might see him go down in a moment.
Hey, yeah? I was wondering, do you know the difference between love and obsession?
I'll probably get credit for that.
No. And what's the difference between...
There were two, and I knew there were two. I was just hoping his friend either didn't see me, or he'd be distracted long enough for me to drop the nose on that guy, hit him, and fucking get out. Because I'd already used the two other R60s on the Viggen. Stick with this skin since we're over summer terrain. Spring or whatever it is.
Перезарядка по плану. Прием.
reliable, so it's just hit and miss. The Viggen seems to have the same thing. Some days the Viggen actually does have a damage model, and today I got shot down by one with one wing, so just the damage models in DCS in general are a clusterfuck, but the Cold War planes seem to have it the worst of everything. To 60 at 9,000. Why would you be at fucking 27,000 feet? What the fuck? Well, it's interceptor time. Give me the silent treatment now. So he's lost the space cadet, which means he's either dived for the deck or disconnected. Also probably some netcode fuckery involved too, where the plane looks more damaged. It shouldn't though, like, everything I know about DCS netcode when it comes to weapons employment is that the only perspective that matters is the firing side. So whoever fires the weapon, what they see is what is true. That's why, you know, if I stitch a line of bullets across someone, they might see the bullets miss on their screen, but they still take the damage. It's also why missiles will fly right through your plane without fusing, because the firing aircraft sees it miss you and not fuse. So, because on my screen I shot 2 missiles at him and saw him without a wing, he should have been without a wing. There shouldn't be any desync there, unless the netcode isn't actually based on the firing client. But then why would, like, that wouldn't explain any of its normal behavior, so, I don't know, ED. Spaghetti code. Yeah, I don't know, it's frustrating though, because I should have made it home from that sortie. Like, the most recent one, that was fair and square, his mate got me, but that was a very bullshit death to that one-winged Viggen. "99% of players in DCS have absolutely no clue what they're doing. Glad I found a group that actually imposes standards on its members. I probably want to quit." Oh boy, so earlier today I was playing on Growling Sidewinder's server because I hate myself. I was flying the MiG-29. I just shot down a Viper who decided to fly into a pair of R-77s without evading. and suddenly I see something streak past me on my left side and think, weird, but okay. And then get a missile warning off my 5 o'clock. Turn around and look over my shoulder, I see a Tomcat wings back, diving for the deck, and 2 Phoenixes coming right at me. He had ACM'd 3 Phoenixes. One went over my shoulder, thankfully didn't track me. And the other 2, one of them just went stupid immediately, and the third one tracked on me and only narrowly missed. But in order to evade that Phoenix, I then had to basically, you know, wave around a giant "Hey, I'm here" sign to the AIM-120 that was already out on me from my previous target. So I died. Very high IQ Tomcat pilots on Growling Sidewinder server. The best part is, I'm pretty sure it was the same guy then switched teams, said, "Guys, make sure to check IFF," and not even 30 seconds after he said that, team killed someone with the 120. I also was spectating a MiG-21 who was about to ruin a Viper's day. He was sitting on his tail, perfect missile shot for an R-60, even though he hadn't punched off his tank yet, so he seemed a little inexperienced. Like, he was going to embarrass the fuck out of this Viper. And then a friendly Phoenix took him out, because another Tomcat had just fired a fucking Phoenix to whom it may concern into the middle of a dogfight. Like, these people can't be trusted with active missiles. Shit, they can't even be trusted with heaters half the time. Yeah, it's a total dichotomy. There is no mediocre. They're just amazing or dog shit. There's no in between. And once the Phoenix gets fixed, I think we're going to see a lot less Tomcats, because all the dog shit ones aren't going to want to play it anymore, because they won't have magical missiles that can track you through fucking mountains and, you know, magically desync onto your tail after you've already notched it. Oh shit, hello. That was interesting. No merge call? Is that a fucking Stinger? Can't see anything. It's fine. It'll buff right out. So, I'm missing my left aileron, it looks like. Right's fine. Yeah, we're missing our left aileron. Oh shit, never mind. He's still behind me. Now we're on one wing. Yeah, it seems like it might be broken again. I have no ailerons, but I have roll authority. Yeah, it's broken again. So, the MiG-21 doesn't do differential deflection on the stabilizers. They're pitch only, not roll. So once you lose your ailerons, you should have no roll on the MiG-21 unless you use the rudder to incite a secondary effect, a yawing moment in the aircraft. I can't use my words because I'm trying to figure out what the fuck just happened there. I don't hear a jet. I don't see a jet. I don't think I overflew anything. Yeah, no roll trim. 21 only has pitch trim, nothing else. What the fuck hit me? Like, what the actual fuck hit me? That is really strange. Just out of nowhere. No calls from AWACS, no smoke trails, no jet sounds, nothing. Hey, Bagel. You need it once you've got asymmetrical missiles, though. She really rolls. Really rolls when the missiles are asymmetrical. Especially if you're carrying double rack R60s. It's really noticeable. I'm actually kind of surprised. If you nurse this thing well enough, it's like it doesn't get good fuel economy, but it's not as bad as you would expect. Like, really not that bad. Oh, now I'm getting lots of stuttering. Excellent. $29 best fuel economy ever. Yeah, amazing fuel economy. Have so many issues with the 21 on blue flag? Probably because you're on blue flag. You're going to be fighting a lot of more modern jets. Like, this thing is dangerous if you're getting close, but because you have no BVR capability and the SPO 10 is basically useless, you're gonna really struggle against the modern stuff. Really struggle. Like, my bare minimum for fighting modern planes in this is a GCI that is dedicated to me and nobody else, and ideally mountains. So the server's starting to empty out. I might do one more sortie in here and then just go hit up Just Dogfight or something for a little while. Might do some GS at some point, although, I don't know. I didn't have a good time there earlier today, so it's kind of put me off of it. .5, MiG-29, more like 2.2 something, or 2.3? Might be 2.3. Flap set, trim set. Time to send it. Probably played something suboptimally. Spot the German. Doesn't always have to be about efficiency, dude. See, guys, the MiG-29 doesn't actually run on kerosene. You just load a couple of like cartons of Bellamore canals into the fuel tanks and it runs off that. That's why it's so smoky. You can fulfill the entire 5-year all-union quota for lung cancer in like 30 minutes.
21-й, 5-й, дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
H3VR dev added historically inaccurate belt box mag for MG42 for miserable wingers. Needs to add the saddle drum for the MG34. The thing was such a fucking meme when it got added to RO2. Oh no, he's talking about horseshoes. What was it? Horseshoes, hand grenades. Why can I never remember the name of that game? That one. Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. There you go. Brain fart. Miss IL-2. We'll have to see if we can get on, but like I can only fly the Yak. That's it. I can't fly anything else because my throttle's still stuffed. I've still got to figure out what to do about it. It's driving me insane, man. That and the rudder pedals. The belts came in metal tins, but they weren't attachable to the gun. They were basically just used to carry it and keep it waterproof. Oh, I didn't even notice that power line was there. Whoops. We went under it without noticing. I see him. Just slightly left of my gun pipper behind that hill. is. There's a smoke trail. I think. Wait, no, that's a tree.
21-й, 5-й. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
0 for 12. Right off my nose. It's right behind this fucking hill.
21-й,
There he is.
5-й. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
Not enough lead. This is not the kind of fight I want to be in, and I keep stalling myself out because I'm getting careless.
21-й, 4-й. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
It's fine, chat. Okay, it's not fine. He's getting his nose around on me. Tactical stall. Please overshoot me.
4-й, 4-й. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
Yes. All of this that is happening now is because I did not pull hard enough in the merge. I should have gone harder over the top. I wussed out because I was afraid I was going to black out or stall, and it let him get way too close to me. Now I'm going to die. And I keep stalling my plane because I am fucking panicking. Can't even see where he's gone. Behind me. Oh, something bad's happened. Yeah, we're dead. I fucked that up so badly. So fucking badly. That's the worst fucking flying I've done in months. I started, so when he was coming in, he was kind of going off to one side. And what I should have done was gone straight past him. Why didn't you emergency release your stores? I'd already punched off the belly tank. Like, punching off the missiles is just going to make the situation worse, because then I have to use the gun, and the gun is not good. Not good for that. So what I should have done was I should have passed him and then gone a little bit further, and as he's coming, he went flat, so as he was coming around, I should have just really cranked the nose over. So when I hit the apex of that climb, I let off the stick, which is like the dumbest thing I could have possibly done. When you're in the MiG-21 and you've got an F5 in that position in the merge, you pull on the stick for all you're worth. You don't want to stall it, but you want to be within like that much of a stall. So you can drop the nose on him, and then as he comes back around towards, or like into you, you're coming down from above, and you just pop off the R60 then. But because I wasted time and didn't turn so hard, as I was coming back down, he'd managed to bring his nose up, so he came straight across my front, and then by the time I brought my nose across him, it was too close. Like, I had to get him with the guns, and I didn't, because I didn't pull enough lead. you can't hesitate in the MiG-21 against an F5 because you lose. You just immediately lose if you hesitate. The fight might go for 2 or 3 minutes, but you're going to die. Like, there's no ands, ifs, or buts or anything about it. Unless he really fucks up, which he didn't, I did, repeatedly.
Прием.
So that's a very good demonstration in how not to fly the MiG-21. And I should have known fucking better. You might, Gurn, but I don't. I fucking stalled that thing at least 10 times. I normally don't stall this unless I'm doing it deliberately. Like, I don't know what happened there, but it wasn't good. It really wasn't good. Oh, don't want that. Care for an egg in this trying time? Not really. I don't have an appetite at the moment. It's too hot to eat. Oh, that was fucking embarrassing. Like, I know how to fly this plane. I have more hours on this module than anything else in DCS. And probably more hours on this module than most people in DCS. Like, I know how to fly this plane. It just makes it all the more frustrating when I fuck up like that, because I know immediately what my mistake was. So, against the Viggen, you can get away with fucking up. The Viggen handles well at low speed, but he bleeds energy even quicker than you do, and he doesn't have the thrust-to-weight ratio that the MiG-21 does to bail him out of it. So if you can get a Viggen into a slow fight, he will inevitably either stall out and hit the ground, or he will have to yeet out of it and disengage, or you'll just pull in on his tail by sustaining your maximum angle of attack. The problem with the F5 is the F5 will inevitably beat you in a turn fight. Like, there's no way about it other than he will beat you. It's just a matter of time. So when you're engaging F5s in the MiG-21, your absolute best bet is to come in fast, go straight into the vertical, dump the nose on him while he's still trying to work out where you are, especially if he stays horizontal, which they often do. They'll stay on the deck. Just dump the nose on him, get an R60 off. Even if it doesn't hit him, it should spook him, and then you can drop in for a second. Because if you don't kill him in the first 1 or 2 circles, you're going to die. You know, you might be lucky and get away from him while he's distracted, but you're probably going to die. Yeah, shit does happen. It shouldn't though. Like, not like that. The F5 is also a lot less threatening if there's 2 MiG-21s, like 2 versus 2 even. Just having the second MiG there as a backup or to draw one of them away is a huge thing. Like, when I was flying with Jazz, we were untouchable because we were mutually supporting each other, right? So when you're flying alone with no GCI, no sleep, and you manage to kind of psych yourself out by making a mistake right on the merge, it's difficult to recover from. Hey, Noni. I like how this is, I'm pretty sure this is the oldest third-party module. This has been out since like, what, 2015? 2016? Maybe even earlier. We've got a working anti-ice function on the aircraft, but DCS doesn't simulate ice on the canopy. So, like, you can't defog the canopy because the feature isn't in the game. It's been in the options for this aircraft grayed out for years. Amazing. It's another thing Cliffs of Dover has, canopy icing. And it is a real pain to deal with in a World War II plane. That F5's probably gone back to refuel and rearm. So my score for the evening is absolutely atrocious. We have at least killed stuff. If I hadn't managed to kill anything, I'd be really mad. But we have got some kills. We just died a lot as well. To be fair, one of those deaths was to a one-winged Viggen, so it shouldn't have happened. Probably all on the ground out at an upper, so we'll head over towards it and just wait for them to take back off, I guess. There we go. Oh, it's just taken off. Hey Mike, and rifles. So MiG-21's maximum speed, its VNE is 1300 kilometers an hour indicated. I think it starts, in real life it would start to break up about 1400, 1450, but that's not simulated in DCS. You flame out around 1350 to 1400. The maximum speed at altitude is Mach 2.05. according to the documentation, but in DCS it can push about 2.2, 2.15, 2.2 without issue. You just run out of fuel really quickly. Will the F4 ever come to DCS? It was being worked on, but ED put it on indefinite hold for the Viper. So yes, it will eventually come to DCS, but probably not for at least another 5 years. Even though it was partly finished. So you can thank all the F-16 fanboys for that one. I would much rather have the Phantom.
21-й, 5-й, дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
Okay, that's their AWACS. So the F5 has dropped into the weeds. It's not in active development anymore. It's so the exterior model was partly done, the cockpit model was partly done. I don't know about the systems and flight model side of things, but it is not in active development anymore, and it hasn't been for quite a long time, I think. And yes, DCS panders to the modern NATO planes crowd because they know that sells, which is why we have a shitload of Blue 4 aircraft, which are all, you know, 2000s upgrades, and the most modern thing that Red has, I mean, Green 4 has the Jeff, but the most modern thing Red itself has is a MiG-29S from, like, the early 90s. And that's not even full fidelity. And if you look at the things that people request for mods, it's always like, oh, I want an F-22, I want an F-35, I want a Su-57. Like, no, no, please no.
21-й, 5-й, дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
Yeah, full fidelity 29 would be beautiful. $3,500. It's a bit high, I don't know what he's doing up there. You mean a worse 27, CJ? Su-24 would be amazing. I'd love a Su-24. That mod looks really good, I just don't know if it'll ever be publicly released. And there's a lot of stuff that needs fixing now. Because, like, the guy had full-on proper Su-24 avionics, but then ED refactored all the weapons code and it broke, like, everything. So he's had to redo it all, and it still isn't finished. Yeah, but CJ, it's just, it's draggier, it's heavier. Come on, man. I don't really have much interest in the Su-34. I mean, it's cool, I guess, but it's kind of just a morbidly obese Su-30. I'd rather have a Su-24. We're flying the wrong plane for this song. I don't think this server has the original Su-25 on it. I think it only has the Su-25T, which is a bit strange. Got torpedoed by my team twice. Weekend's in full swing at World of Warships. Yeah, it seems to be in full swing here as well, to be honest. After that Tomcat encounter earlier. Yeah, the FC3 Su-25 is the original version. But this server has a Su-25T in it. I don't know why, because Russia has like 8 of them. It was a very limited production aircraft. So I don't even know why ED modeled it. They should have done an SM. But as well as that, it's totally outside the time frame when all the fighters in here are from the 70s, like early 70s. FS 2020 Alpha. Ooh, nice. Clean? Bruh. There's only one F5. Looks like the server might be dying. It usually fills back up around like 7 AM my time, but 345th has a mission on, so I can't stay on here that long. We might just fly the rest of this sortie out. Never mind, we'll time for home. The last F5 disconnected. We'll go land it, and I might do a bit of Stalker for a little while. Now we start looking for the humps that signify Minvodi, since we'll probably see the mountains before we pick up the RSBN signal. Should be up my nose somewhere. Gotta love those NDAs. So yeah, 4 kills for 5 deaths on this server makes me a bit disappointed. I should be able to do much better than that, but oh well, maybe next time. The last few times I've played on here I've had really, really good runs, so this is probably just a kind of counterbalance, I guess. So, for those of you who saw me royally fuck up that engagement against the F5, if you want to see how to do that properly, I've got a couple highlights up from previous sessions on here, both flying alone and flying with a wingman, that show how you do it. You can, it depends on the F5, if the pilot's not as experienced, you can beat them in a turn fight. It's just really difficult and really risky. And you can't always tell if they know what they're doing until it's too late, basically, like until you can't back out of it. So I prefer just not to risk it and leverage the big advantage that the R60 provides. There we go. That'll be Minvodi over there. We got plenty of fuel. We need to burn some off. Power lines. That was a pilot on the ground back there. Oh wow, might have been from one of my previous flights. Ooh, there's a town over there. Let's go break some windows. Yeah, I'm trying to find one that's the right height, but this is a very flat area, so might not be one. What's on for this? What? Oh. Huh. Another 21. Hey, Sponge Babe! It's going alright. How are you? Oh, I see a power line. Let's go under it. Oh, now people join blue team. They've got a Viggen, but I might hop off anyway. Get some Stalker done. So we'll go land. How much fuel we got? Still heaps. I gotta get rid of all this fuel, man. There's the airfield. We'll go annoy them. Right on that red smoke. Right in front of me. Under that. Somebody parked on the apron. If I come in from the other side on that one, around those trees in the shed, still don't understand this game. It's a flight simulator. You fly planes and shoot down other planes, and helicopters, and ground targets. Where'd that bridge go? I've lost it! I can't see it anymore. Ah, there it is. It's gonna be a kind of dicey approach through the trees. There we go. Easy. Go beat up the airfield again. Still got to get rid of another couple 100 kilos of fuel. mean, I could land with this. I could have landed with 2,000 liters, but I don't like landing heavy in the MiG-21. Oh, there's 2 breaches there. I'll catch up on chat once I'm on the ground. Couldn't get the line up. They're like slightly offset from each other. I just couldn't get the turn in time. I might be able to get it coming back the other way. Oh, the electrification lines for the train might be a bit of an issue. Yep. Oh, it's not. It's a road bridge. See, I got through it all right, and then I saw that and I panicked. Almost. Alright, we're gonna jump off here. Might do some Stalker for a bit. Feel inexplicably like complete shit. It happens sometimes. I haven't slept yet because it's too hot to sleep, so I'm probably going to feel like dog shit tomorrow. Well, today, it's like 2 AM, but so far I'm good. Do you have to concentrate and look at the screen all the time? Sort of, not really. If I'm really low to the ground in something like the MiG-21 where it doesn't have fly-by-wire, I do need to generally concentrate on what I'm doing. But at the same time, I can kind of talk or do whatever while I'm flying, and it just, you know, like that part of my brain runs on autopilot. So we'll yeet out of here. Give me a second to set this up. Much as I love that song, we're gonna put that on pause. Right, fingers crossed Stalker behaves itself today and doesn't crash. Might be asking for a bit much. Gotta head out? Alright man, no worries, and thanks for stopping by, good to see ya. Yeah, I'll catch you around. Hopefully your day improves soon. What in the name of God? What the fuck? That is impressive. MiG-21 has one-ply tires. I haven't really had them burst on me very often. From a song, no, it's probably just copy-pasta. Out of context. Alright, Stalker's going to take a little while to load, but it should be right in a minute. It's frozen for me when it's loading in, so bear with me. So this is Gunslinger combined with Atmosphere 3 and Absolute Nature 4. And I think like one or two other small-ish tweaks.
Как дела, охотничьи?
What have I got for equipment? Why am I carrying a Saiga? Oh, that's Trapper's gun. Okay, that can go in there. That can go in there. I think I've already done the... Yeah, that's unblocked. It's been long enough since I played Gunslinger that I don't actually remember what I was doing, so... It might take me a few minutes to figure out what on earth is going on. Got to see the suit, so I should be pretty much ready to go to Viggen, but there's a few other things I want to do first. Apparently the Stechkin is in this. I think it's like a Nimble weapon, like one of Nimble's uniques, so we might go and visit him. Okay, still got to assemble the squad. Still got to get Monolith in here. I'm not sure how we're going to do that because I think probably what I'll do is when I get the PDA from these guys, I'll give it to Freedom because I haven't really given Freedom anything at the moment, so both the main factions are neutral to me, which means I can't bring Strider's squad in because nobody will let them in. Like the loners don't have the clout to do it, and no one else will. Still gonna give a chunk for Gary, because I'm an idiot and I sold the one I already had. And I think, yeah, I've got to get the detectors off Al as well. Check some of these stashes out, I guess, which is what I was doing last time and then the game crashed. Wasn't visiting Nimble the thing that was causing you crashes again? No, the thing that caused me my last crash was throwing a grenade at, was it I think it was a Chimera that was, no, a Bureau, sorry, that was fighting a guy from duty, down by the drag line, so, should be right. I will say, running Absolute Nature, this looks absolutely gorgeous. This is what Stalker's supposed to look like. I said it before, but like it really is what Stalker's supposed to look like. Actually, I wonder if there's a mission I could do for Freedom that doesn't piss Judy off. So then I don't necessarily give them really damaging info. Like, as much as I like Freedom and I'm more likely to sympathize with them than Judy, I don't like playing into the faction war between those two. So I'll see what I can do, but I want to get Strider and his guys in safely before I go off on my big adventure back to the city.
Оружие опусти, мужик.
Like, how much effort's gone into all the weapons and everything, and then the binoculars are, like, really, really low effort. Really low effort. It's very impressive. Oh, hello. That was a bandit. Which probably means there's more bandits somewhere around here. Oh, yep. There's more bandits, alright. Nope, zombies. Damn it. There we go. So this is all like food and med supplies and stuff. there's anything here today. Stash in the water bit reservoir. I don't know what you call it, or the inlet under the concrete plant. So we'll check that one out, then come back, get that one, which I think is a Saiga and some medical supplies, and then we'll go down to the car park, and that should be pretty much everything we need to do here for now. We'll go out to Zaton and pick up some stuff there. Oh, while I'm here as well, I might see about what I can do for missions to get Strider Squad brought in. Probably another one up there somewhere. Yep, can hear them already. So the stash is actually under this complex, but I usually clear this out on the way through. Quite often you get stalkers that come up here, so I try and keep it clear of zombies to help them out. It's really interesting, because this is basically, you know, it's Call of Pripyat but with better weapons and stuff. Oh, that was a mistake. Because this is Call of Pripyat with better weapons and everything, I think A-Life is still restricted. But if you remove the restrictions from A-Life, which are there mostly for story purposes and balance purposes, you see some really interesting behavior from the AI. Like the places they travel to and what they do there. Okay, we're all dead. Nothing up there. So just a reminder as well, assuming I don't pass out at some point between now and then, in about Little under 3.5 hours. The 345th are going to be running a mission. We're playing as Dutch peacekeepers. So, should be, you know, a totally fine, no war crimes to see here kind of mission. That's a unique weapon. Not sure what faction they are. I can't see through the fog, but they'll probably be friendly, or at least neutral. I'm gonna drop this off in my stash, I think. Loners? Yep, loners. So yeah, I'll drop these in the stash, the station, and then head over to that one maybe. Actually, you know what? I'll grab that one some other time. It's not a big deal. I think it's just a Saiga 12 and some food or some medical supplies or something. It's stuff I don't really need. One thing I have noticed about, I'm pretty sure it's atmosphere that's doing it, not absolute nature, but the lighting is much darker. So, for instance, on overcast days like this, it's actually really, really dark on my screen. It's probably even darker on the stream. So it can be difficult to see at times. Like, it just seems maybe disproportionately dark, so I might need to edit some lighting values if I can. I'm assuming that it's handled through LTX files like almost everything else in the game. Those are easy to edit. Got a bunch of artifacts I could probably sell to. Gotta get this suit upgraded. So I'll sell one of the Fireflies. I'll probably keep the eye for now. I might sell it later. So, artifacts wise, I try and make sure I'm not taking any radiation from them, so I'll balance out artifacts to make sure the net radiation's either 0 or negative. But the other thing I do is I tend to gravitate towards artifacts that improve healing or reduce bleeding or increase stamina. So things like individual resistances to types of damage or anomalies I don't really worry about. But healing and stamina recovery are the big ones for me. So we'll sell those, they're not worth much. We'll hold on to the Firefly for now, just because Beard might want it. And Beard usually gives pretty good rates, we'll sell a couple of those, don't really need all of them.
Ты заглядывай, тут весело бывает. Что скажешь, брат? В общем, выкладывай. А.
Yeah, he still won't. I don't know if I can do any missions for him, that's the problem. Like, I may have kind of screwed myself with that one. Gonna go play some Apex with Blues? Alright man, good luck, I'll catch you later. And I'll have to try and remember to install that today as well, so I can play with you.
Здравствуй. Слушаю тебя.
What I might do is play for a little while longer, like another 15-20 minutes maybe, and then take a bit of a break so I can take a short nap or something before the armor mission. Because I'm getting a little bit dozy. I really should have slept, but it's just too hot, so... For the last few days, like, I got my sleep cycle in order, so I was waking up at normal person times and going to bed at normal person times for like 2 days. And then it got too hot to sleep again, so I'm kind of just... I'm screwed no matter what. I can't win.
Ну, здорово. Какими судьбами на нашу посудину?
There we go. He wants a Firefly, so we'll sell him one.
Будет чего интересного
Unfortunately,
Наш Скадовск всегда на месте. Никуда не уплывет.
we'll see what he gives us. So I think out of the unique pistols, probably a Desert Eagle. The APS might be classified as a pistol, or it might be a close range weapon. And then I don't know what else. We'll have to wait and see, because I didn't think the APS was in, but apparently it is. Same with the UMP. I think the reason I haven't seen one is because it's apparently one of Nimble's unique weapons, which is kind of weird and silly, but whatever. Is there any modifications he can do? No, he needs tools. He can repair it though.
Да чё ты топчешься? Если есть что, выкладывай. Нет, проваливай.
Buy some more ammo while we're here. Since at the moment, because I haven't adjusted the trader files yet, OWL is still the only place we can get 7.62 by 54, which I need.
Давай, давай, не задерживайся.
What do we got? Quests. I think we just gotta wait for that. find a meat chunk. So we might check out some of the anomalies around here. Huh. So apparently I do have the wealthy client achievement, which is interesting because they don't seem to offer any different trade items than they already did. Usually when you get that, it increases their trade table, so you get higher level equipment.
Здравствуй, сталкер.
It doesn't seem to be doing anything.
За неделю подошли гоплык.
Слушаю тебя. Ну,
Might head out and do
удачи
some
тебе.
stalking in the local anomaly fields, and then once it hits nightfall, I think I'll call it for the stream. I'll be back on, unless I sleep through it, in a couple of hours to play some armor. My eyes are starting to try and like glue themselves shut, so I don't want to carry on the stream if I'm falling asleep. It's not going to be very entertaining for you guys. Well, it might be entertaining for you guys, but not for reasons that I would like. So I'll take a bit of a break for armor, I think. So there's something spicy going on here.
Возможно, еще не все.
Oh, wall's dead.
Всем спасибо, все свободны. Если нужно что, спрашивай у главного.
Ну, привет! Привет, брат!
So I think I'll check this one first, the barge, then go up to the boiler, and then just kind of work my way around the edge of the swamp, and then come back in towards the center. Oh, shit. Not the ideal weapon for that. It's so weird, like, playing this and then going back to Call of Chernobyl. Like, Call of Chernobyl with Arsenal Overhaul is definitely a huge improvement over vanilla Stalker when it comes to, like, gunplay and stuff. But then comparing it to this is an enormous difference. It just feels so strange. Hello. Just checking for some artifacts, and I'm going to probably take a bit of a break. I'm playing the Gunslinger mod, which I'm really enjoying. Really, really enjoying it. Oh, no, can't go that way. Is anything here? Nope. Is there any way to get the minimap back? Yeah, you can go into options and then, what is it, game, show interface. So if I turn that on, I've got my minimap. But I prefer to have it off. What I'd like is to have like the bottom part of the interface without the minimap, but I haven't got round to doing that yet. Only have the bottom one, not the minimap. You might have something different installed over it. See, I'm not sure because I have Absolute Nature and Atmosphere installed on here as well. and I think one of them comes with its own HUD overhaul, and that may put the minimap back, or the minimap might be missing from something else. I'm not sure, I can't remember. When I first started playing Gunslinger, I had it turned off anyway, so... not sure. And yeah, it's still in beta, but like for a beta, this is pretty impressive. It's only it's a very small team that's working on it. I think it may even just be one guy. I know it's definitely not a large team, so I'm pretty impressed with how it's turned out so far. Imagine someone donated 5 mil to make a mod for this game. Knowing what the Stalker modding community is like, and knowing what GSC Game World turned out like, that would probably go straight into someone's offshore bank account and you would never hear from them again. Like, the reason why we don't have access to a lot of the source code for this game and the editing tools for this game is literally because the former CEO of GSC Game World basically just threw out all the computers with that stuff on as part of like an asset dump, I think for tax purposes or some shit. Which really sucks, because having the actual like the world editor they use to make this game to be amazing, we could add new world spaces instead of just reusing old ones from the different games and from the alpha. Ow. Ow! Oh god. There we go. Only lost a little bit of health. Oligarchy in my Russian game company, Ukrainian game company actually. And considering the theme of Soviet-Ukrainian jokes, that probably means it's even worse. Alright, we'll go up to the farm next. There's a stash on the edge of the map as well I might check out. That one over there. Just try and figure out. I think I'll go to the farm first and then go up there. I'll just cut across the swamp. I don't think walking through water gives you any radiation damage in Gunslinger. I think that was just a feature from SWAT's mod, which is what I used to really play a lot in this. Ooh, that's a bandit. Did he have a friend? Doesn't look like it. Oh, wait. There we go. That should be all of them. Only one trader here. Depends what you're trying to trade. As far as like general purpose traders, there's Al and Hawaiian, same as the base Call of Pripyat. So one in Zaton and one in Jupiter. Then you've got like the military guys don't trade, but they'll give you supplies. Those bandits are up right here. There we go. Man, grenades are so common in this mod. They're everywhere. Seems like everyone's carrying at least 2 or 3 of them. Don't need any more water. I'm carrying enough.
Это я, Сыч. Заваливай ко мне, есть о чем перетереть. Срочно! Связано с нашим делом.
Go west. So my Stalker only has Absolute Nature. Weird. Yeah, I think if you're going to install Absolute Nature and Atmosphere, you have to do it in a specific order. Like you install Atmosphere first into like an empty folder, then Absolute Nature over that, then you've got to put in the compatibility patch, then you put that into the Gunslinger folder. It took me a few attempts to get it to work, but I'm glad I did, because it looks absolutely amazing. That really doesn't sound good. It's also too foggy to use the SVU. It's a bandit.
Хавай гранату, падла!
No, I don't want your grenade.
Тиранули меня, пацаны!
Oh, we can sell that. And that. Do you use the nano HUD? Yeah, I think I'm using that. Like, I have it turned off, but I think that's what I've got installed. I think I've got the maximum resolution textures for Absolute Nature installed as well. Same with Atmosphere. I just went all out. I don't think there's anything here. No, there is not anything here. That's disappointing. So War Crimes practice there, 345th up today. Yeah, in a couple hours. So I may or may not be playing. Like, I have not slept. I want to play, but I'm going to try and take a nap between this stream and that one. And if I don't wake up, I don't wake up. If I don't stream it, probably someone else will. They're playing as Dutch peacekeepers in, I think, West Africa? I'm pretty sure. So it should be pretty spicy.
Смотри экран.
Thanks for the follow, by the way, Mr. Azharek. There we go. I hope I got that right. I'm struggling to see at the moment because, like I said, I'm tired. My eyes keep trying to glue themselves shut. Proper fatalism, comrade. yeah. Playing Stalker and then playing with the 345th will do that to you. Zombies up there. So yeah, Like in SWAT's mod, which was my main Call of Pripyat mod back in the day, this would be a very bad idea. Standing in water would give you like a fairly decent dose of radiation over time. But it doesn't seem to give you any at all in Gunslinger, so what I should hopefully be able to do is figure out where... Because it has to be in like handled in an LTX file somewhere, surely. Figure out which one that is, and then just bring that across from SWAT's mod into this. Wow, with that shot. Imagine Anomaly and Gunslinger combined. I haven't played Anomaly yet. I'm going to have to, I think, at some point. It looks interesting. I'm not too sure about some aspects of it. Like, I'm not a big fan of artificial difficulty, and some things about Anomaly seem like they're just there to make the game harder than it needs to be. But it definitely looks alright. It looks a lot better than Misery. I tried Misery when it came out, and I absolutely hated it. But Anomaly seems like it's better balanced, and it's at least colourful, not just brown like Misery was. There's our stash. Just hoover all that up. Let's see who's shooting over there. Learners? Yeah, learners. Yeah, exactly, just like the name. So I got a bunch of stuff I can sell now. This thing, the hunting shotgun, is apparently like one of the strongest weapons in Gunslinger. It's a bit of a meme. I've never used it. I'm not really a shotgun person. But yeah, apparently this thing is an absolute beast. But we'll sell it, I think. This is my usual sort of go-to loadout for late in the game. An SVU-A and a Seaver suit. One of the other things I've got to do is reduce the maximum carry weight. I don't like being able to lug this much stuff around. It feels a bit too overpowered. So what I want to do is reduce the maximum carry weight by a lot, but then increase the value of individual items like guns or suits, so that you carry less, but what you do carry is worth more. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a PU scope on a TOS. It's very interesting. I'd like to sell some of these guns, but it's not really worth the extra weight. I've got enough money. I'm not desperate for it. Okay, we'll go around the sawmill and down to the swamp there, I think. Do you remember the stash locations? Some of them. I remember some of them. SVD's near? Yeah, I don't remember exactly where, but I do remember there being one nearby. The thing that made me not regret liquidating everything and bidding on that is that I'm on the opposite side of the height slider from Nikita Khrushchev. Yeah, that might be an issue. Under a tree, yeah. Well, there's a fair number of trees. I'll come back for it later, probably. I don't want to overload myself too much. Especially because that doesn't sound very reassuring at all. Oh, it's just a flesh, maybe? No, it's a bloodsucker. You see that? The fleshes are fighting with it. Let's just stay the fuck away from that. Yeah. It's definitely a bloodsucker. Near the end of the road up north. Yeah, I'll grab it next time I come through this area, I think. So I'm already pretty heavily overloaded. I'm basically just doing a quick stalking run. See if I can find a meat chunk so I can give it to Gary. I had one, but I completely forgot that I was trying to save it up for him, and I sold it. Because I am not a smart man, and I do dumb things all the time. This fallout's lasted for a long time. I don't think there's anything here. Shame, because this is exactly the kind of place I'd expect to find a meat chunk. No, there's nothing in here. I think I'll check out the oak pine and maybe the core. Might grab that stash too. Actually, no, what I'll do is I'll go to the oak pine, I'll check that out. Hello, who are you? You're a bandit. Where's the rest of your group? Yeah, I'll head to the oak pine, and then probably grab that stash and head off, because I want to try and get at least a short nap before the 345th mission starts. I don't know if that bandit was just by himself, or if the others are in the Krug complex. Not the kind of place I'd want to be. I'm really hoping at some point in the future, if not the guy that made this, then at least somebody who's, you know, approved by the guy that made this, integrates gunslingers, gunplay elements and stuff to Fall of Chernobyl and or Anomaly, because that would be really interesting. Like, it's so hard to go back to Call of Chernobyl after playing this because the weapon handling just feels like shit, basically. Like, this really spoils you for Stalker mods once you've played it. Nothing here, unfortunately. Stashes all the way along here. But I also seem to recall that bloodsuckers tend to spawn around here. Oh god, that's terrible. Stalker night vision, not even gunslinger can make that useful. It's still horrible and blown out. There we go. Flashlight's more useful. Somebody's shooting over here. That is interesting. Oh shit. Fucking dogs. Well, now we know why there were gunshots. Okay, down here. Oh, yeah, this is the one that's up in the fork of the tree. This is a real pain to get to sometimes. Because stuff gets stuck up there. Is it this tree? No, it's one of the others. This tree? Yeah, it's this one. Looks like it's already been knocked over. Stalker had gun customization of Tarkov. Oh god, yeah. Some of the abominations you'd see people building. Very interesting. And then you'd have me just rolling around with a completely stock AK, because that's how I do. It's what I do in Tarkov as well, actually. It's pretty much how I roll in everything, is just stock AK, or occasionally something exotic like this. Or yep. That's the poltergeist. I think you can see me, even though I'm down here. Five flashlight cancer shotgun. I fucking love those things. just put on as many flashlights as you possibly can. The power of the sun compels you. May as well check this out while I'm up here. Don't really need the night vision for this. Oh, he sees me alright. Hello, Mr. Poltergeist. Oh wow, he's right there. This is not really ideal. Fuck it, we'll use the pistol. I hate dealing with poltergeists. Their hitbox seems to be so tiny. That or their massive bullet sponges, I'm not sure which. Ow. Ow. Fucking piece of shit! Go away! Oh, he's gonna fucking kill me. That was a little closer than comfortable. I got plenty of pistol ammo, so it's not a big deal. I honestly can't tell if they just have a really tiny hitbox or if they have really high health. But they take forever to kill. And I'm gonna die again. Well, maybe not. Here, you goddamn piece of shit. Shotgun's the solution? Yeah, probably. Actually, now you mention it, I wonder if this thing's loaded. Well, didn't work. Don't know if my shooting's just especially bad today, or if this one is... Oh, there we go, finally. If that was just a particularly tough poltergeist. But that took a lot. Took an awful lot. Probably nothing here. Whoop. Nope. Nothing here. Check the floor one here. Actually, no, so we're gonna go downhill for that. We'll check the circus maybe, then double back for the claw. But I'm not gonna do the claw this time. We'll go do circus, then I will jump off, have a short nap probably, and hopefully be back on in time for armor. So that'll be in about 2.5 hours ish. Time is it? 8 o'clock. That wasn't a happy noise. Well, the fire poltergeist has respawned, but I doubt there's going to be any artifacts down there. must have such a small hitbox. That's going to ruin my rifle if I keep doing that, so we'll just use a much simpler solution. Problem solved. As I suspected, there's nothing here. Alright, I think I'm going to save there. I'm just going to let the auto host do its thing. Like I said, I should be back on in about 2.5 hours, give or take a bit. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, coronavirus victims? I haven't really been keeping track of it. I'm not particularly concerned about it. I think there's Australians in Wuhan that are being quarantined, but I don't think there's been any serious spread here, and like I have a really insanely strong immune system, so I really, like, it's not going to affect me. It sucks for all the old people and the immunocompromised people and the young children, but it's not going to affect me. The biggest problem I have is if my sister or my parents get sick, but other than that, I think like people are overblowing it a lot. It's like it's a problem. It's definitely bad, but it's not like that bad. You know, it spreads really fast. It spreads faster than SARS does, but it's less dangerous than SARS was, and SARS just kind of blew over. Wasn't a big deal. Anyway, I'm gonna head off. I will catch you later. See ya.